All those guys are in action here today, but it's going to be longer and it's definitely going to be tougher. May even be a little bit colder here. It's the Gym Wall Ironman Classic Round 4, and let's take a look at the start list. A huge start list and a couple of names we haven't seen so far, and one of them very important, Ali Day.
Well, Josh, the return of Ali Day. Not only the return of Ali Day, the return of Wesberg as well. But let's talk about Ali Day. He's the current Coolangatta Gold champion. He's won that race 4 times, an endurance animal, and we know he's going to be pushing the pace here at Torquay.
Oh, it's suited for him, that's for sure. But it's the race we all want to see. Kane Eckstein, Ali Day, Coolangatta Gold 2017. I'm going to put it out there right now. Let's get it done. Like 2 prize fighters going head-to-head, and Matt Bevilacqua on the front. He got off to a flyer of a start here, and Bevilacqua's not one to really shirk away from those endurance races. Second in the Coolangatta Gold this year, a really, really impressive return to that race. And Dan Collins there from the Redhead Club. Have a look at them stream out to sea. Plenty of locals in this race as well. Don't count those guys out. Caleb Gray from Point Leo, he's here. Campbell Bowen from Ocean Grove. And the Morty Alec boys, Matt Gilling, he's in it. So local knowledge, we might see it come into play here. And can they pick off some of these northerners, the soft northerners where the water's warm and the sun shines? They don't like them down here in Torquay. They like it when it's cold and grey and dark, and that's what we've got here today. And have a look at them spread out, Jack. There's probably not one line that's best to take on the way out, but we definitely know there's a good line on the way home.
Well, they breed them tough down here in Torquay, Josh. I'm a perfect example of that.
I knew you were going there.
And have a look at the boys through the surf. The pace is on early. We start with a run swim, so look for Dan Collins. Dan Collins from Redhead's been very, very good in the run swim runs so far, and you know he's going to mix it up with these swimmers early on. Dan Collins isn't there, but Jackson Maynard is from the Currumbin Club, the green and white corded cap. So have a look at that. He is flying off the front, and you wouldn't expect his swim to be his strongest, but I guarantee you he can swim to the cans with the best of them. Maybe Brian Lim in there in second place, one of the local boys, so watch for him in the surf race later on. And there they are, Kendrick Louis right there in the mix of things as well. Cooper Williams from the Noosa Club, watch for him. He's a great young gun. He's a great run swim runner as well. Jay Finesse is there, so all the big names. Will Budd, watch for his big board leg. He's been on the podium in every round of the Summer of Surf so far in the board race, so massive. And have a look at that. What a great shot. Have a look at that white water there. That's the aerated water that's being pushed from kicks and arms and legs and just everything going everywhere. You don't want to be in that. You want to be on the front like Dan Collins on the left-hand side and Jackson Maynard on the right. They are your 2 leaders there in green water. Have a look at that. You see the arm go in there, gets a big armful, pull it through, and this is going to be carnage when we hit the first can. Well, we know it will be mayhem. 48 blokes into one turning can. There will be punches, there will be arms, there will be legs, and have a look at this. Dan Collins is in the position with Jackson Maynard you want to be, and Josh, you call it round that can if you can.
Oh, I don't think I can, but have a look at the action there. They're on top of each other. Don't worry about our leaders. It's back in the thick of it. There's guys stopping. There's arms going everywhere. I'm sure a few have copped kicks, punches, everything, and that is not where you want to be. They call it the washing machine. And there's also another line, rubbings racing. If you go on top of someone, if you go through someone, that's just the way it is. They're all mates when they're having a beer afterwards, but I would not want to be in the center of that. That is the toughest place to be in surf lifesaving, guaranteed. But not for Dan Collins, Jackson Maynard. Maybe looks like one of the Zool boys from West Beach in South Australia swum his way up into the first few. So good to have the South Australians here as well. They're coming thick and fast from all over the countries. We're just missing, all we need now is one of the Northern Territory guys to come down and have a race, and we'd have a full set, that's for sure. Maybe somebody from the ACT. I don't know if they race on Lake Burley Griffin. But back to the action here. Jackson Maynard, Dan Collins there, and maybe Matty Poole looms up into 3rd place at the moment. A really good swim for him. He wouldn't have minded a little bit of crash and bash around the can. Got a bit of a reputation for it there, but he's swum his way into this race, and he'll really be looking to take advantage of this upcoming board leg. We know it's his strength, and Dan Collins, he is a real star of the future, former World Junior Ironman champion, and an all-around tough swimmer. Got a couple of silver medals at the Australian Championships in the Taplin Relay swimming, and have a look at that. Hayden White, This isn't his best leg. This isn't even his second best leg. This is his worst leg, and he's up into third place.
Well, Josh, Hayden White is on fire, but the wave out the back is going to bring the back markers through. A fair few of the boys will pick this up broken if it's got enough power and allows them to get on it. And it looks like Matt Poole just comes off the back there. There's a couple of the boys not holding it through, so they've got a lift, and another wave brings the rest of the field through also.
Oh, that's heartbreaking for our leaders because they have just done all the hard work, and a couple have got a huge ride. The only one who's gotten out of it okay is Dan Collins. Cooper Williams has got a wave from the clouds. I don't think he was in the top 20 there. We saw him round the cans in the pack, and have a look at the rest of the field there. Jay Finesse, Wes Berg flies up. Zachy Orchard, I don't know how he's going to go. The board licker, they call him. He's going to go into his best leg, but there's 25 men in the top group, all chasing Dan Collins, the only one who stayed off the front of that one. Williams, the young gun, in second. Matty Poole still did well there, very well. Ollie Signorini's in there. A couple more of the redhead boys. Then it looks like Jackson Maynard's worked his way through. Kendrick Louis, Hayden White's there. One of the Zool boys from West Beach in South Australia, as we ride on with Matty Poole there, and Jackson Maynard chasing hard.
Well, these boys really need to start to work their way back up and through, and we know that they will. They're on the front end of this race. They want to keep that pace consistent, keep pushing it along, and challenge the boys that are chasing. Don't allow them back into this race, which when they get into the wave zone may allow them to do so.
Do you know what's scary for our leaders, the likes of Dan Collins? You got Luke Cuff, you got Matt Bevilacqua, you got Wes Berg, all in that second group. The best board paddlers in Australia, hands down. I think I even saw Will Budd there, who's been the best board paddler in the summer of surf. And Jay Finesse, he's come off, but you don't want to be on the lead like a rabbit being chased by the rest of this field, because they are like rabid dogs going after you now. And Matt Poole isn't even worried about Dan Collins. They've gone straight past him as he got cleaned up by a bit of a wave, and they're going to do it all on their own.
Well, it's Poole now that's out in the lead, and it's young gun Cooper Williams, the under 17 from Noosa Heads, who's currently sitting in second with Luke Cuff. So if he can keep himself in and around that front pack, they will drag him through this race and each leg. It will be the ski leg where Cooper Williams will really need to do the most work.
I've got to feel sorry for Hayden White here. He had the swim of his life in this. He's been caught up by a wave. Now he's back in the pack, and that's not what you want. As Bevilacqua, he's already won a round. He's desperate for another one. He has won this race before. He came down a few years ago, Surf Ironman qualifying series, got himself a win. He'll be desperate. And have a look at that on the front, the former training partners there. Matt Poole, Luke Cuff, gone their separate waves. Cuff on the orange board now at Mermaid Beach on the Gold Coast. Matty Poole at the Kurrawa Club. Two of the best board paddlers in the business. May have even won a board relay together. So they were training partners, they're now foes, and they're going head-to-head. And if we thought it was bad in the swim, have a look at it in the board. They don't even stop. I'm sure the ding repairers up the road will be loving it. Oh, Kendrick Louis loving it. He copped a foot in the face. I don't know if that was all that enjoyable, but I think he likes a little bit of action there. And there's 6 wide going around. Jay Finesse right now is 6 wide going around that can. That is how tight this racing is.
Kendrick Louis gets a bit of toe jam to chew on for the remainder of this race. It might help him get through. It's a long endurance race, Josh. These boys may be taking a little bit of fluid or nutrition along the way just to make sure they can keep it up for the full 40 minutes.
I was going to ask, after seeing the girls race, do you think leading early is the plan? We didn't see Ali Britton, we didn't see Katara Coleman until the second half, and the girls we did see on the front seemed to disappear. Are these guys making the wrong move, or are they just taking their opportunities when they come?
I would say that you'd want to be as close to the front as possible, but have a look at that. As we say, this wave start to come through for the boys in the middle of the pack, and look, you don't want to be too far away from those leaders, because once they start to get a wave out in front, the gap will extend, it will open up, and you'll have no chance of catching it.
Oh, these guys will run on anything, but it might fill up. What it has done is brought maybe 3, 4, 5. Nathan Gray, it's definitely brought him up into it. Matt Poole will get down at Tannen Linden. If there's a wave in the ocean, he will find it there, and Luke Cuff wouldn't miss a beat. So although it's brought Tannen Linden up to the top, it's also pushed our 2 leaders further away. So Linden in third drops away. Matt Poole's there as well. Nathan Gray chasing very, very hard, really trying to get in on it, as is Max Brooks, but our 2 leaders were rewarded in the end. They did a little harder than they thought they would, but Matt Poole, Luke Cuff, head-to-head, heading into the first ski leg of 2.
Well, that wave was a smaller wave of the set, Josh, and it didn't break right the way across the beach as a few of the others have, and that's why it filled up in the deeper water, and a few of the boys fell off the back, just not getting that rating up early enough and getting themselves through that deeper water.
Have a look at this next one. There's 20 on this next one. You wouldn't want to be in this going into the ski, and will we see the guys struggle like we saw the girls picking up the skis, dragging them along? Look at that. That's maybe, 50, 100 metres. Tannen Linden there, Kendrick Louis further back, Jackson Maynard, Nathan Gray, James Lacey as well. A couple of Newport boys there, some more from Mermaid, Bevel Aqua and White, Jay Finesse in. So all the big guns are sitting inside the top 15. And these two, if they're smart, they'll have a little chat. They'll try and do some work together, maybe take a few little wash leads as well and try and open up the gap and try and get a wave.
Well, as we saw the boys run up and through transition, it didn't look like anyone was really overexerting themselves or trying to make a big move in the transition. It's probably out on the ski and on the board and in the swim, in the legs out in the water, where they can really start to make their move and get themselves back into this race for those back markers.
So a few waves make things hard, and at the top of your screen, Tannen Linden hasn't had as much drama. He's in the green water. Poole and Cuff seem to have picked the white water at the moment. They've separated slightly. I don't think that's the right move. I think they should come together, work together on the way out, and just as I say it, they decide to do it. Matt Poole's pushing hard, and he looks very, very motivated at this point in the race. As Tannen Linden leans back, crashes up and over one. It's tough here on the ski. As Kendrick Louis, he's pushing away from the rest of this group as well, and I think he might drag them up into the race. There, Jackson Maynard really trying to do his best as well. Jay Finesse, our two-time Summer of Surf champion, really working hard on the ski. Ollie Signorini, a great swimmer. Watch for him in the next leg. Of course, after this, we're only at the halfway mark, and we saw the girls go about 32 minutes for theirs, as Benny Carberry's a long way back on one of his best legs, as is this man, Ali Day, formerly of Warilla, now at Surfers Paradise. His first outing in the Summer of Surf, and I don't know if he's enjoying it all that much. He's just a small guy, a little bit skinny there. Maybe the cold's affecting him.
Well, Josh, he's fair way back at this stage, and I would have expected him to seem a little bit higher up, but it's Poole and Cuff who are working away from Day and the rest of the field at this stage. And I mean, former training partners, they train together, they trade with Day, they've trained with Hayden White. These boys know each other inside out, and they'll know what they're capable of, what they're not, and they've got to find a time in this 40-minute race where they can get away.
Oh, it's big. The gap is big now. These guys are just cruising. They'll also drop the heart rate. That's the most important part about getting a wave. If your heart rate's at 150, 160 the entire time, you won't hold on. But if you can get these maybe 30, 40 seconds where the heart rate goes back down to 100, 110, you're going to be that much better off late in the race than the guys out the back. They're on one as well. So it's not just the leaders. Oh, someone's gone sideways. Hayden White maybe. The black and white ski there, I'm not 100%, but he's one of the best ski paddlers in the country. He shouldn't be going sideways. So we'll have to wait and see as Tannen Linden, he gets caught up by the rest of the field there, and have a look at them. All the boys in on the action. Our two first timers this year, Ali Day, Wes Berg, both from the south coast of New South Wales, both pushing hard here. Ali Day, we didn't write him off. We said he was a long way back, and just like that, he's in the thick of the action, heading into the second of two Ironmans, and this is where he's going to come into his own.
Well, let's start it all again. We're back to the start. We head into a run swim. These boys really need to stay consistent now. Hold that consistent speed up the front, put themselves into the right position in that wave zone, and keep picking them up to get themselves back to the beach, get their rest, and go into the next leg.
There is Linden further back. The Mermaid Beach pair there, Ali Day as well, so expect big moves from him there. Luke Cuff on the front, Matt Poole in second place as well, and the rest of the field chasing very, very hard. There is top three for you there. Kendrick Louis as well. And have a look how strung out they are. It's not like the women's race. The women's race, they were tight, all going in together. Bevel Aqua's there doing his best. Wes Berg coaching at Burleigh Heads Mowbray Park. He looks like he's enjoying his return. And a lot further back, Dan Collins, Ben Carberry. They're going to be the big two movers. I guarantee it, as is Jay Finesse. They love it swim, they love it hard, and they love to really grind it out.
Well, I'm expecting to see Kendrick Louis make his way up as well. He's been been very impressive in the summer of surf so far in the swim leg. But Luke Cuff looked like in the run into the water he was trying to break Matty Poole, but that may have hurt him because Poole's gone to the front now, and Cuffy's going to have to get on his tail, tuck in on those feet and try and hang on for dear life in this swim.
And that's exactly what he's done. Wise words. Now, you're a coach, Jack. What would you be telling your Chargers if they're back here in 3rd, 4th and 5th place? Is it blaze all out and try and catch our leaders, or bide your time, hope for a wave and work your way into the race?
Well, you would want to bide your time, Josh, but you've got to find a place and you've got to know when you're going to turn it on. And it looks like Kendrick Louis is turning it on the way out to that swim can now. He's really started to draw these 2 leaders back. So it looks like Louis trying to get up onto the feet of Cuff, and he's only a metre or 2, maybe 3 metres behind at this stage. He'll start to see the white bubbles. He'll start to get some of that assistance, and he's done the job now. He's done the work to put himself into a position where he can sit on the feet of Cuff and Poole, put himself onto that front wave, and it's a race in 3.
Oh, Kendrick Louis is a hard man. There is no doubting that. Love him or hate him, he is one of the toughest in the sport, and he will not give you an inch. And if you give him one, he'll take a mile, that's for sure. He's worked his way up into 3rd place here, and he's worked his way onto the feet of Luke Cuff. Matt Poole stays on the front as this little wave starts to come. Will he get down it? Oh, no, it just teeters him, just offers him a little something and then breaks his heart. Like a bad relationship there, but he's having a great race. Matt Poole on the front. Luke Cuff's just dropped away, so although that wave wasn't a wave, it's just opened a little gap, and Kendrick Louis going his own way as they see something really peak on the outside, but I don't think it's going to offer much for the rest of the field. And Kendrick Louis may get down and it may stand up. He's pushing on the top. Great body surfing from him. Great body surfing from Poole, but they're both left looking out to sea, and that's heartbreaking. You've worked hard. You think you're down one. You think it's going to be a big gap, and it gives you zip.
Well, they just missed that set wave. Probably a body length for Poole, and he would have been down that. He would have opened himself a huge gap. He would have held it all the way through to the beach, and I don't think anyone would have caught him from there, but unfortunately that hasn't happened. And have a look now, a set starts to roll through for these guys in the mid-pack. They're off that front group, but here comes one, Josh, and you call them through.
Here they go, 2, 3, 4. The Jags on. A couple duck down, trying to get into it, and a couple have fallen off the back. Here are our leaders. What are they going to get out of it? Somebody goes all the way over the top of Matt Poole. It looks like somebody from Burleigh there, so a Burleigh competitor, maybe Benny Carberry, comes out of the clouds. I thought he steamrolled Matty Poole, but Poole still got it, cuffs up on it, and so is Carberry out of nowhere. That is incredible. So just like that, the wave can turn. Carberry pulls the cap off, he throws it. Kendrick Louis still there. He didn't wait for it, he swam. He was going for broke, wasn't worried about Mother Nature. He was going to do it all himself, and that's what he does. He takes the hard option, the right option every time, and somehow Luke Cuff survives on probably what's his worst leg, remains on the lead of this race.
We're 4 legs down, 2 legs to go, Josh. We're into the board, followed by the ski. 2 big transitions to get these boys through the race, and Kendrick Louis can't find his board.
Unbelievable there. It's the small things that will make the big difference. And you know what's unbelievable? It's not like either of these competitors on the front here are swimmers that are going to be hanging on in the board and ski. They're some of the best board paddlers and some of the best ski paddlers we have in Ironman, and they've just jumped on the front, and they're going to go hammer and tong here as they're almost lapping a few competitors still making their way in. So Poole, Cuff and Louis, they know each other very, very well. Benny Carberry, formerly of Warilla Barrack Point, he is in 4th place, and I wouldn't count him out because he is as tough as nails. 2 guys who are having absolute cracker races. Corey Taylor finished 3rd of the World Championship there from Northcliffe, and Jared McDonald, they call him Taddy, he's up in the top 10 at the moment and trying to hang on, and what would be his best result of the season. He's had an absolutely stellar race so far. Cuff goes to the front and he's pushing the pace.
Well, it looked like Poole tried to take a smart option there. He's trying to get himself on the tail of Cuff, let Cuff do the work as well as Kendrick Louis out in front, sit back and try and conserve some energy. Matt Poole is doing quite well, as is Ben Carberry, and Bevilacqua is really trying to work his way up into this one.
Do you know who we have not mentioned for the entire race, but is sitting on the back of the front pack, is Will Budd. Will Budd's been known as a board paddler for a very, very long time. He's out of North Cronulla. He does a great job, but he is an Ironman, and he is having the Ironman of his life today. He's in 5th place on this lead pack, and he's showing some of the best in the business. No, he's showing the best in the business, how it's done. And he's not content to sit all the way back. He's worked his way up into 4th place there, and have a look at Paul. He slides up the inside of Kendrick Louis there. A smart little move, and Benny Carberry tries to slide up the inside of him, and Will Budd hangs on, and he knows he's going to work his butt off on the way home. Matt Bevilacqua and Corey Taylor, they're in 6th and 7th. Wes Berg in 8th, so welcome back Wes, welcome back Cotter, because he loves it. He is working his way into this one. He had a broken neck only 12 months ago, returned to the summer of surf. He's returned to top level racing, thought his day was done, but hell no, Wes Berg's back in and back on fire.
Well, it wasn't enough for Wesberg to be able to walk again. He wanted to race again, and that's exactly what he's doing here today. He's returned to racing, and where else would you rather do it? In Torquay. But it's Will Budd who's probably surprised me more than anyone out here. We are, as we said, this is now the 5th leg of this Ironman so far, and Will Budd is going around with the best Ironman in the business, Luke Cuff. Have a look at that. Josh milks the ocean, and he's really started to open up a gap, and I expected if anyone was going to do that in this board leg, Will Budd might be right there with him.
Oh, yeah, Luke Cuff. Well, he's a great board paddler as well. You can't knock him, that's for sure. But have a look at the gap he's opened up, and we're into about the 25th minute of racing here. We got one leg to go, and could this be the decisive move? Kendrick Louis finds a runner as well, so he's going to close the gap. Will he go up alongside him? Will he go past him? Can Luke Cuff make the most of it as well? Kendrick Louis will not go away. They should call him Louis the Fly, because he's just pestering the lead all day long. He is on fire here. This is one of the best performances I've seen from him in the summer of surf. Matt Poole's not happy there. Neither's Will Budd. They know they've just let this race, they've let their competitors open the door ever so slightly, and have a look behind them. There is 15 on that wave. So you make one mistake, you're going to end up in the middle of the pack here, going nose to nose with the rest of the field. So Cuff and Louis, one from Mermaid, one from Manly, they're in the lead. Carberry's there, so's Will Budd. You can't count out Matt Poole. He's one of the hardest men in the sport and one of the best ski paddlers when you're tired. So now it comes down to one final leg, a run, ski, run.
So it's Louis and Cuff out in front, Josh. They've probably got a 30-metre gap back to Poole and the group in second. And then 15 to 20 blokes are chasing them down, and potentially in the wave zone could pick up a one that will bring them right through.
Who would have thought after 5 legs and 35 minutes of racing, there could be a wave that'll bring one of those back markers through here, but these two on the front don't want it. They're looking strong, drag the skis in. That's got to be one of the toughest things in surf life saving. Last leg of an Ironman, forced to drag the ski in, then you've got to get on, get it up to speed, and we see a little stumble from the boys. They were a little bit loose there, but now they're on and away, and that wave up and through. Oh, Kendrick Louis bashes his way through that. Luke Cuff, they go stroke for stroke, and nobody's got an advantage now. That gap's closed, although Matt Poole's trying really, really hard with Ben Carberry on his tail, as well as Will Budd's hanging on there, but I wouldn't count out a couple of the other guys behind them either. You know Dan Collins is going to be there. You know Jay Finesse, Corey Taylor, Max Brooks. They're all inside the top 10. Wes Berg, wouldn't it be something? First race back from a broken neck, and he could win it here, and he's doing enough at the moment. He'll need a little bit of luck from here. There's Corey Taylor. He's hanging on, but it's still possible for these guys.
It was a huge transition from the likes of Lacey, Taylor and Linden. They've worked their way back up onto the tail of Poole, and they're still in this race, but currently Linden and Cuff are still working hard out in front, keeping that little gap open on Poole to make sure they give themselves that opportunity into the wave zone.
Well, Kendrick Louis done everything right here. There's no doubt about that. Whether he'll win or not is another question, but he has done everything right. So far, it has been Shannon Eckstein-esque from Kendrick Louis. No mistakes, just sitting on the front. He's not going to blow the race wide open, but he definitely hasn't made any mistakes. And I think Luke Cuff is going to have to do something special to get away from him here. He just takes a little look around. So does Louis. He sneaks a look. He knows they're coming. There's 2, 3, 4, 5 in the background. There's 15 in the background that are close enough. They're going to be praying for a wave here. So it's Kendrick Louis, the Manly Club, in 1. Second place, Luke Cuff from Mermaid Beach. Matt Poole and Ben Carberry. I think they're going to get one. I think they're going to get one on the outside. They are. Ben Carberry on the far left-hand side, the white ski, the blue nose, he's down one. Matt Poole's there as well. They're going to pick up a wave, and it doesn't matter if you're a leader because the Jag's on here, and we're going to have a race in 4. Kenrick Louis may push down one on the front. He might go down a little runner on his own, but have a look at the rest of the field. They've come together and come up behind him, and you got to feel for our leader here. Kenrick Louis did everything right. Look at Ben Carberry apply the pace, and after 40 minutes here, we had a sprint finish in the girls. We're going to have a sprint finish in the guys. Ben Carberry's gone his own way. He thinks he sees something the rest of the field doesn't. Have a look at Luke Cuff struggling in that deeper water down the bottom. He's going to have to apply the pace now. Carberry's no dramas. Kenja's no dramas. Poole's no dramas. And Cuff's no dramas either. But I wouldn't count out behind Lacey and Tannen Linden. He's got a smile on his face. He knows this could come down to a sprint finish, and he's one of the fastest in the business. But let's go. It's time. 4 men, 1 race. Carberry's up first. Carberry's up first. Louis up second. He knows he's going to have to be quick from here. Carberry's come from the clouds. He was 25th at one point. He was that far down, I would have written him off, but he's going to get a win. This is it. What about that? Gets a wave in the final leg, goes straight past our leaders, straight up and around the beach, and take a bow, Ben Carberry. This is the biggest win of your career. You have claimed round 4 of the Summer of Surf in Torquay. Kenrick Louis did everything right and finished in second. So did Luke Cuff. Tannen Linden came from the clouds. James Lacey as well. Matt Poole has gone from second all the way down to 6th place. Dan Collins, he appears out of nowhere from Redhead, and have a look at them sprint for points now. They're really trying hard to get across the line. Will Budd's there. Max Brooks as well, Ali Day, Wes Berg, what a return for those two. Taddy McDonald, a great race from him. You can deserve a beer there, Taddy. Ben Carberry, but that was an impressive performance and an impressive race. He takes the win. Kenrick Louis second, Luke Cuff in third. We head further down the page. There's 46 finishes here, so plenty of time. Corey Fletcher, the Zool boys from West Beach in South Australia. Hayden White didn't have the best day.
Well, originally from the South Coast and moving up to the Gold Coast, sort of acclimatised to that warmer weather. So got down here and was quite a surprise on how cold it was and the water temperature. So yeah, well, like I didn't get off to the best start. I sort of got stuck in that middle pack in the swim, but I knew it was a long race, so I knew if I hung in there. I'd done the training with Wes and Tannen. We've done these longer irons for this reason, to get our fitness up. So I knew if I hung in there, a bit of luck would come my way, maybe get a wave or two up, and yeah, that's what happened. I did panic a little bit when I got stuck in the first swim, and I was like, oh, what am I going to do? Hopefully I get a wave or something back up, and then just really hung in there. Yeah, it did sort of come out of the win. Yeah, having the ski last really helped me because probably one of my strongest legs out of the swim and ski. So yeah, I was stoked to have a ski last. Yeah, I've always wanted to win the gym wall, so that's one ticked off the list. A couple more to go. Yeah, that's great points for me. Hopefully it gets me up there and locks me in the spot for the next game this year.
Well, he's got his eyes on the prize, the man with the mullet, and have a look at that. 2 men in white trying to earn a spot. Ben Carberry, Tannen Linden, training partners. They've set their sights on a spot. They're almost there. Maynard, Collins, and Simon Murphy from Mermaid. They are in the box seat at the moment. TJ Hendy and Isaac Costello